Good morning, Kevin Campbell.
Morning.
You are a positive man, so let's try and look at it from a positive standpoint. As Gary said, it could have been over. It could have been 4-5-0. There is hope, even if it's only a glimmer for Chelsea next week.
It is only a glimmer. But what Frank Lampard and the Chelsea squad have to do, they have to look at the chances they created. I mean, João Felix had a couple. Sterling had one that was brilliantly saved by Courtois. You've got to get that first goal at Stamford Bridge, get the fans involved, and then you make life a little bit more difficult for Real Madrid. That's the key. If Madrid score first, then it's going to be a mountain to climb. But it can be done. And we've seen Real Madrid win this tournament so many times, but they are not the same team at this moment. The Madrid of last season would have probably won this game 3 or 4. But 2-0, I think Chelsea do have a slight chance.
Did you not get a sense, though, watching last night, that Real had another gear or two to go to?
Yeah. Listen, we do know there are gears, that's for sure. They're still relying on Kroos and Modric in that midfield, who are, they're effervescent, aren't they? They're
Combined age of 207, and they're still brilliant.
And they're still running the game.
Yeah,
it's incredible. But what Chelsea have to do, they have to get a goal. They have to get a goal from somewhere, and it's not through the want of trying, but that's the only thing that's going to help Chelsea get past this Real Madrid side. They've got to score first.
When it comes to goals, that is the age-old problem, isn't it? As I said to Gary there, they need at least 2. They've scored more than 2 just 3 times this season and only once since October. How do they change that?
Well, it's not looking good, that's for sure. It has to be a collective, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who scores the goals. The key is getting the goals. And probably one of the most important things is you've got to keep Real Madrid out. That's the other problem. So if you get the first goal, then you've got to stop Benzema, Vinicius Jr., and they've got so many, Rodrigo, they've got so many weapons. But getting that goal is key. João Felix has to turn up to the party, that's for sure. Havertz will probably play at home.
I was going to say, actually, because he went Sterling and Felix as the 2 forwards last night and brought Havertz on. Do you think he might change that for the home leg?
I think Havertz will play at home. I think they'll need more of that physical presence up top, whereas when you're away from home, you're trying to use the speed of Sterling, etc., on the break. Now, the onus is going to be on Chelsea. Real Madrid could sit back and keep the ball and then bring you onto them and then try and catch you on the break. So it's going to be a fascinating game.
The red card was obviously a huge moment in the game. I think when you see players react as Ben Chilwell did, which was pretty much zero protestation, I think we could all agree that it was a red card.
Well, I think he took one for the team, if I'm honest with you. If Rodrigo goes through and makes it 3-0, the tie's over. So he sacrificed himself. And, hope that they wouldn't score the free kick. They didn't. But it was one of those things. Somebody else will have to come in and step up, because now Ben Chilwell, who, had a decent game up until that point, he can't play. So it's going to be a difficult game, but Chelsea can do it. They have to score first.
It was interesting hearing from Todd Bowley right at the start of the pictures we saw from last night, boldly predicting that Chelsea would win 3-0.
He means that at home, obviously. He means that at home. He's got the days wrong.
Well, possibly so. Is that helpful to the players and to Frank Lampard? I mean, he's not going to say anything else, is he? I'm not going to actually say, I think we'll struggle and lose 2-0, but...
Yeah, he's going to try and be as positive as he can. And maybe it's a bit tongue-in-cheek saying 3-0, but that's the result that, if Chelsea win this... if Chelsea were to beat Real Madrid 3-0 at home, then you're looking at them being maybe favourites. Because they're knocking out the reigning champions. So it's going to be a tough one. But 3-0 was a bold prediction.
You spoke about the options and the attacking quality that Real Madrid possess. Is there anyone in better form for them and perhaps across world football at the moment than Vinicius Jr., who's now been involved in 20 goals in his last 20 Champions League games and gave Reece James a torrid night? Yeah,
he's flying. His level has gone up since... Carlo Ancelotti's got to the football club. I think his understanding with Karim Benzema as well has really come together. They've had times where they haven't really been on the same page, but Vinicius Jr.'s level's gone up, and now they're on the same page. And they're so hard to stop. Vinicius Jr., he's so quick on the outside, comes inside, plays 1-2s in and around the box. He's very difficult to stop. And Benzema, we know, as a number 9, is there anyone better?
Just a quick one then before we bring in Kyle, and it might be one for Kyle and everyone watching at home this morning as well. Top 3 current players in world football. Is Vinicius Junior in that little bracket, do you think?
Oh, I would say so. Definitely seeing that performance last night. I mean, he's been there all season and last season, hasn't he? So I would say he's one of them.
Other 2?
Oh, dear. Stop it. Stop it, please, stop it. My mind's going to blow, honestly. Look, there's so many great players. Look, Kevin De Bruyne is still up there. He's still brilliant, isn't he? Still pulling all the strings. And you have to say Kylian Mbappe, don't you?